Welcome. This is Peter Palmiotti of Human Art Studio. And today I'm going to do a little pictograph work. How are you doing? Are you working on your comic? Let me know. Oh, maybe not. Okay, come on. Get to work. If I don't use it every day, our pictograph needs a little booster to begin. So, I'm working on that. They say change is good. And there's definitely a lot of changes in our world in recent months. And in my life, particularly. Oh no, don't give me problems. Crap. Maybe we will do some inking. You gonna give me a problem? Yes, you are. Alright. I've had so much trouble with my progress as I have recently, but okay. I guess we'll do some traditional inking. That's okay. Alright. Don't need you guys. So yeah, just to recap, recently started a day job, and sorry, this is gonna be a little glary. It's okay, I guess. Yeah, started a new day job. Was originally part-time, but because it seems like every day is evolving, I guess now I can consider it a full-time. Not exactly. Well, let's see. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I guess from beginning to end, it's an 8-hour shift. Sort of set up, take down, and work hours. Yeah, when I was originally told about it, it was supposed to be a. Man, come on. A little more. Okay. Too glary. It's okay. Hey! What's happening, Joe? But yeah, I get this new day job, and it's been a living thing. It's been evolving since I began. Done about 7 days, 2 1 week, 5 the next. And it's certainly been challenging. I've been part of restaurants, but I've, I feel like a partner to a certain extent, where the benefits of giving good advice would be the continuation of my job. So yeah, we had a okay week. Learned a couple things as far as location, where to go. And we're going to try some new food tomorrow. So it'll be same menu as previously. But with some additions. Talked to them earlier this morning, and I thought it was a complete menu overhaul, but apparently we're just adding hot dogs and barbecue. Because that's what people like. So we'll see how that takes and where that takes us. Not much. Trying to figure out the comics game. Aren't we all, buddy? Yeah, right now my main concern with comics is trying to figure out my schedule. Trying to have a day job and trying to finish a bunch of projects, hopefully over the next couple of months. It's always challenging. Yeah, so yeah, well, like it looks like I don't know if there's any word on when kids back to school, but I know they want to push them back to school. Not that we have a lot of kids coming to buy food, but I think that will be a major factor if all of a sudden kids are going back to school. But at least I could rely on this job for the next couple of months, and that will do me good financially. So by then, I should have some work done on said books, like this one, Retro, Hawk and Hawk, the next issue, and a graphic novel I'm working on. And we'll see if I'm in a better standing by then. Yeah, my friend has mentioned his wife wants to help him out, but doesn't want to deal with the heat. So September, October will definitely be cooler. So if I pass the baton at that point, I could definitely be in better shape where I won't need a job if all goes well. But we shall see. It's hard to know what things will be like in a couple of months overall. So yeah, I mean, my plan right now is to the best of my ability do these streams daily if I can. I'm trying to figure out, is morning better, is evening better? Today I woke up and I was like just so sore from the past week and exhausted and all that. I'm like, how am I just going to keep any kind of pace? Questioning my ability. Uh, it's always rough, right? Having a day job and trying to do these, work on your own comic weekends and what have you. Because I don't start exactly at 9, maybe I could do a stream in the morning. But I'm not sure. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Well, you can start a little earlier." It seems like there's nothing consistent where I have to take everything in stride. But doing the best I can. Where am I? Let's see. I should point this a little better. Okay. All right. I'm trying to position this a little better. Oh, I know what I can do. All right. Boop, boop, boop. There. Okay. I know I don't have the best camera angle, but this is work on your project where you're listening to me gab on. So yeah, I think the best possible solution for me right now is to at least try to do daily streams and just get to the flow with the day job, get into the flow with streaming, and just keep pace with that. I got a bunch of things I can knock out over the next couple of weeks that will lighten my load. And I guess part of my exhaustion is like to, with recent events, I was able to finally get my stimulus check and pay off a bunch of my bills. Really, because I got behind on a bunch of things. My best paying gig disappeared and afford to do it because of COVID. So now at least I can relax a little on that front. And order the supplies I need. You have to get some Pediograph points. It seems like they're either leaking to give them a good cleaning or something. There's never enough time in the day, but Yeah, I was able to get rid of my major bills, which there is a little relief from that. I did happen to get I got a big ass. Oh, do I have it here? I do. I got a big ass marker. Um, Sharpie, king size. What's the? That's a big tip. Right now, I one blank cover I could do something on. But I am interested in picking up. I don't know if there's a lot of independent comics with blank covers. I would definitely be interested in doing sketch covers on those. I know a lot of people do Marvel and DC because but I want to support more independent comics. Maybe I'll ask that in my group, my creator-owned comics group on Facebook. See how many people do blank covers and pick up a batch. You're still listening. Do you do blank covers on your comics? Or I notice there's nobody in chat. Come on, people, chat. Um, it's okay if you don't want to. What the hell? Oh, I see. I see a mistake. All right, this is too bright. Get out of the way. Okay, that's a little better. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so over here, it's kind of a mess up by the penciler. He has this little nightstand. And it sort of disappears. I guess that's okay. Yeah, it's sort of a floating pillow off the bed, but that's okay. Nobody will care but me. Yeah, so, I might want to do more sketch cover. Right now, I want to take on any work. And actually, Tonic Mole got in touch with me. He's got a kicks his next run on. I mean, he's got a Kickstarter and an Indiegogo for his next phase of his books, Saving the Universe, Saving the World. And I think it's a perk or a stretch goal or something. I forget. That he's having a bunch of people do pinups of these two new characters. And I don't know if I have a lot of reference on the character. I'll actually have to. I got a digital copy of the books so far, I think. I'll have to go there in there. But yeah, show me a bunch already done. It's sort of like each artist does a different era. And I think I got 6. I forget the theme, but it's in the 1970s. And I'm supposed to be doing a pinup for that. And I got commissions. I got comic cover somebody wanted. Um, yeah, I'm going to need a new brush. I'm not happy with the... It's my last good brush at the moment. I'm going to have to order some brushes. At least a couple. Can't afford to go crazy right now, but makes difference. All right, let's see. Oh, cool. I have to order a couple. So it just says Hearst Comics, Amazonia, and Primetime Saturday night. Some wrestling comics. I love spinning my page around, so I know visually it could be hard to watch as an anchor, but years of doing this way, yeah, it's like I'm a good anchor, but it takes a certain kind of artist to like work on an image without spinning a page. This is why I'd be horrible at tattoos. Just spin the person around to work on their tattoo. But yeah, so I've been thinking a lot, like definitely like in regards to the day job, like he's sort of taking in our experience at different locations and our experience with our menu. He's updated it at least once to sort of change the focus of it and the prices. And a little better recently as far as what people want. Um, and going forward, we'll see what new food choices, if they do good with us. And also, we have a grill inside the trailer that we use, But because it's so freaking hot in there, his solution is not to get something resembling an air condition, but to actually work outside under the shade of a canopy. Um, and we'll see that if that benefits us. I'd prefer to have AC or some equivalent. Goodness knows I'm already burnt. Like my head and my forearms, and mostly I've been wearing like just below my collar is like it's all red or brown or burnt, starting to peel. Yeah, I can't really be out in the sun all the time without protection, so I might start wearing my baseball cap. I don't get much sun inking comics. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So this page there's a lot of little technical stuff that I was wanting to jump on, but my repair guy's not working with me, so decided to do brush. Um, but I'm looking at the page as I go, working on it. It's like, yeah, I would love to dive in and do some just straight line work. I could do some of it with brush, but I like it to look smooth and clean. I mean, there's some lines that warrant even like straight line work. You go in with a brush or a quill so that they're a little wavery or whatever. I always like ink a page, and then once the inks are almost fully done, to really look at a page afterwards, maybe sit with it and sort of flesh things out a little bit, see where I need to punch up some images. Like, that's usually like three-dimensionally. What's closest, what's farthest, punch up the closer lines, separate stuff a little better. There's a lot of tangents on this. Okay. Tangent is like where things touch. Like one end of thing equals the end of something else, and it's like it's almost overlapping. Try not to do that. So you can clearly tell each individual object or thing on a page has its own place. And we're grooving. So yeah, thinking earlier today about the big details and even the small details of what's going on with my day job, and also thinking about where I'm at the moment with my comic book and art career, and where I want to take stuff, um, and how best to use my moments now. Do I need to pivot in some way? Do I need to change something? Do I need to just I'm on? I mean, not too long ago I wasn't streaming on YouTube, and that was something too, and I'm back to it. It's been a challenge because I want to do it every day and I haven't been able to do it every day. Um, but it's like everything happens in twos and threes and whatnot. Um, so I have a job at the same time, which has definitely cut into my hours and free time, and there's been other life drama. Um, but it should be relatively calm going forward. And I hope to be more consistent with posting these episodes. And also, I'm still going back over my past videos on YouTube. I hid all of them at one point. Because I wanted my focus to be on the comics and art videos. It's sort of just setting up my new clean series and what I'm doing going forward. So I wanted those to be just totally stand out, and people to get that this is where I'm focused on doing. And yeah, since I've been doing it 18 episodes now, I was like, let me start opening up my past episodes. And if you go to my channel now, you can see a bunch of things, even more than what's open currently. Um, but that's cool. It's like I'm trying to grow my channel and posting around more. And trying to share, make sure I'm consistent with that. One day I'll have a channel that's bigger and more subscribers, where to monetize my videos and make some money off of it. And that's been my dream for a very long time. Well, to do that, it's like having more little ways to bring in income will definitely assist in her business. Yeah, I want to do interviews on my other channel. Yeah, my other channel is like a sub channel of this channel, which is, it's group focused. My Facebook group is creator-owned comics, and creator-owned comics group, and this is the YouTube channel is creator-owned comics, and do more interviews there. So I think we should have one next week. I'm thinking of doing it Saturday, since that's my day off, and if I do it before evening, it should be okay. Won't cut into my day too much, but I'll be able to schedule. And yeah, it's like I know where I want to take my business and focus my energy, but I also have to make sure I'm bringing in a good amount of money. More money coming in means more freedom of what I can do and how I can do it. One of my plans for this is to actually do conventions, but I'm pretty sure a lot is not going to happen with the remainder of this year, as far as things opening up and turning back to a semblance of normal. And I noticed people doing online conventions, but I'm online all the time. To me, it's like, it seems like a made up thing. Which, I guess you could do events, like have a bunch of other people involved and do an online thing together, where each individual is poised to tell people about their books or what kind of art they got going on or whatever. Hey, it's Van Illustration. On, dude. Welcome, welcome. What are you working on this evening? So yeah, mainly like I want to get in sync with my day job to where I'm not so exhausted. It's definitely been physically taxing. And, above and beyond um, job, it's like I know I've spent a lot more time out this past week. So it's almost like I spent very little time at home, you know, than what I typically do. And so Van says he's working on IPA. And it says, good to see you back on YouTube later. Yeah, well, I'm on YouTube when I can be. Sometimes that means early morning. Sometimes that means later in the evening. Um, I was thinking about coming on early today, but I was like, yeah, I should probably get more sleep. So, caught a little extra sleep than I normally do earlier today. Um, that was definitely a much needed thing. You know, I would say my sleep patterns are a little more consistent, but there are still days that go by where I'm not getting enough. So it's not so much I'm oversleeping as it is just getting the sleep I need. Which is always good. I've read stories where people, 4 hours isn't enough, and I've done that, but I was a much younger lad at the time. Yeah, I wish I remember. Wish my rapidograph was working. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's do a little jazzy jazz here. So the thing with this is, if Rich, the guy who penciled this first issue, if Rich Fisher was the ongoing artist, I would just a little different as far as my inks. But because he's only do, lucky him. Um, I'm not being able to keep in line with what he's got going on. I got a little dry ink on my brush, so I'm trying to twist it out. um, yeah, so there's certain ways I'm approaching his work that maybe just slightly I'm having a little more fun than I normally would. I always say it really takes a couple of issues at least for a art team to sync up. Now, it could look like it happens in one issue sometimes, like in the case of way back when me and Calferi on Aquaman. But by the time I did the fourth or fifth issue with him, become more natural. And in the case of retro, I'm going to be the artist. Issue 2 on. There's definite things, stylistic choices that will be way different. And it's not right or wrong. It's just a matter of, since the character has lived in my mind longer, I've seen things going a certain way visually. So, and it's also, he has more experience as a penciler. Not that that means anything. I hope to be even when I pencil issue 2, but I'll make sure it's definitely to the best of my ability. Van says, sleep's underrated, man. Even if it's oversleeping, I miss it. Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely overslept in my life, but it usually seems balanced by those days and weeks I don't sleep enough. I can't stand just oversleeping on a regular basis. That feels unnatural. But yeah, I'm excited, if at all possible, before the end of this year, like if I can get in everything else done to actually start thinking of penciling the second issue. It would be great if I could start this year, and I mean, I would finish the second issue this year. We'll see if it's in the cards. That would mean a vast improvement in my life and lifestyle, over everything else. I mean, so that would mean drastic improvement on make, and selling stuff would be that much easier, or it's just luck, but it's just a matter of, like, sometimes the cards fall in the right way, and things go your way for a time. I mean, opportunity happens when you work hard. So my plan is to work hard and have more opportunity come my way. And you never know where it might come from. I know I've gotten little bits of work from everywhere online, via email, via Facebook, via Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I can go on. But, I've also had too many things just stall or fall apart in regards to like working for other people. So I know, one of the things that's got to develop more is me making better money off of my own efforts. So we'll see. I'll push more towards that way of life for myself. Let's see if it works. You can always try stuff sometimes. Hey, Frank. My sleep schedule is all over the place these days. I understand, man. Especially being like going to check out Jeff Lafferty's show. That's too late for my blood most nights. Most nights. Well, frankly, the only time it works is when he asks me to be on. And even then, I'm regretting it the next day. But so be it. Van says, I feel that, Salazar. Joe says, prepare for the unexpected, good or bad. And Salazar replies to Van, yep, I've been up late making comics and then working on it some more the next day. Hopefully this week can stabilize my sleep schedule. And I hope you can, man. It's like, it definitely is. Lack of sleep definitely catches up with you. For me, it's, just proper rest and, working 2 jobs. I got to remember, it's fun keeping busy all the time, but sometimes you got to push it all away and say, okay, this is me time. Got to take care of me. I've definitely, like, by keeping busy, by daily sketching, by working on multiple comics, inking, I've definitely seen an improvement in my work that, is preparing me better to pencil a regular series ongoing. And, it's like I can only, at the moment, see it sort of in my imagination, which is pretty damn good if you ask me. But I won't really know like what my pages will look like until I sit down and actually do some pages. Like, I'm really happy with. I spoke briefly before of Tonic Mole and Saving the World book he's got going on, and I'm doing a ongoing story like that. Once he's got to make better money is essentially why I'm not doing it on a regular schedule at the moment. So he's just a small independent creator. He's done 2 crowdfunding events. He's got the 3rd one planned. Trying to make better and better money You know, I think mostly he's getting by, and he makes, he's putting into getting other names involved on the of it and pushing forward. And it's like I got books that will be falling on retro, and that's sort of slowed in recent months because it came to a point where I couldn't afford to keep throwing money at that next chapter or what's next. So I definitely, when I do my Indiegogo for retro for this issue, everybody who pledged to the Kickstarter have already received the book. And I hope by doing it on Indiegogo that I'll double or triple my audience and the people that will eventually have a copy in their hand. So right now it's just over 80 people. If I can get 2 or 3,000 that will just automatically pledge to my next crowdfunder for the next issue of Retro, then I think I'll be doing great. Only a matter of time. A lot of talking going on. I'll have to catch up. So yeah, I mean, my sort of strategy plan is to do what a lot of people think is not workable, but just to do a crowdfunder for every single. I think it can work. I'm not thinking of doing retro monthly. I would 3, maybe more issues out a year, but I'm also for a number of other books I'll be doing too. So, I don't think it will take, I don't know, I would more, but really have to make some really good money. So that means a lot more work ahead for me. I don't think it's possible. I think it's possible. It's ineffable, as they say. Let me catch up with everything. Okay, so Frank says, "Oh yes, I might just checking in on the ARTCAST tonight and catch some sleep." There you go. And Van says, "I wish scientists can get on that and figure out how I could stay up for a week straight or something." Frank said, "It's called energy drink. It still catches up on you though." Yep. Dude, I used to do energy drink. Now just black coffee. Eventually energy drinks made me crash hard. Yeah. And Joe says, "I'm working while listening. That's the way to do it. Everybody should be working." Man says, "That would be interesting to hear your thoughts on both Kickstarter and Indiegogo, Peter. That's a good idea." Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I noticed. Obviously, I won't be the first one, but there's plenty of people out there now doing both because you know some are comfortable paying through Kickstarter and using Kickstarter to support people's comics, and some do that with Indiegogo. You know, and that's why not use both to grow your audience. Um, see if see how many of the like suddenly turn up on Indiegogo because they didn't use Kickstarter, and vice versa. I know like my brother, he's as far as I'm aware, he's only used Kickstarter. And I know for a fact that, he does pretty good, but he thinks and he knows like he he should be doing a lot better. He's just one of those creators. He does really well. He gets the books out in hands, but he makes his money, on the work he does for Maul and DC and everybody else. I think what he puts into his comics that are on Kickstarter, pretty much they pay for themselves, with maybe a little extra. But he's has all the perks and extras on them, and he pays his creators well. Yada yada yada. I'm not looking to pay top rate to people. I would love to. I can't afford to. Um, but I figure I give them a fair rate, and if the campaigns do very well, then they'll benefit from that. I think there's a fair assessment. Um, I've heard all the stories where somebody who creates a book for Kickstarter will hire people saying, "Hey, can't pay you anything up front, but if the Kickstarter does well, then you'll get paid by that." Which I can understand. Lots of people don't have money, but I'd like to pay up front. Since I'm the anchor, I got that covered. Most definitely. And if eventually when I have free time again and I'm able to like focus on trying a new medium, which is like I got that digital tablet. I haven't found the headspace for it to where I can play with it and not be distracted from actually, doing the work I need to get done now. So I put it aside, knowing that it would just delay the work I'm trying to finish now. But I would love to not only write in ink, but to color some of my books. And that's because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, even if I have somebody coloring my book. I've experienced it a little bit, and I do know eventually I'm going to sort of give the day-to-day job of dealing with colorists to somebody else. Um, and then just, sort of look at a book when maybe weekly, not daily. Because that daily looking at colored work and going over the details of it with a colorist, it's not. I could do it. I don't love doing it. I guess more than anything, that's what it comes down to. Really picky when it comes to coloring. So I figure if I could at least color one book and all the things I say, like that color should or shouldn't be doing, at least I could say, hey, look at how I do it. But also because I love coloring. I mean, I've been an anchor most of my career. I've dabbled here and there with color in my lifetime, actually. There's as much of an art to, especially now. It's it's the third artist on a book, and it can make all the difference in the final look of a book, done right or done wrong. You know. Oops. So Joe says, I have a problem with that on both sides of the fence. As a creator and as a buyer, if you can't put anything on creating it, then it shows and you aren't serious with the work for it. Yes. It's definitely true. Oops, what am I doing? Not that. Not that. Oh, okay. Um, okay, so Van says, would you mind talking a little bit about what a collaboration takes? You've worked with so many different people. I'm sure you've gotten full range of experiences. Yeah, I mean, I could talk on my experience. Oh, that's it. I'm really excited about Big Wrath. Yeah, if you don't already know, working on a book with Marshall Lee of Donkey Jar Projects called Big Wrath. Um, I came up with the initial idea. He fully fleshed it out into at least the partial script so far, and he's working on. He's going to pencil it. I'm going to ink it, and we'll see what comes of it after that. I get he's either on the fence. I don't know. I forget now, but it's been a while. We're going to see if it can get picked up by a publisher or maybe crowdfunder itself ourselves, or we'll see. I know initially he talked very excited about getting picked up by Alternative Comics, but I think he will open anyway. That's a ways away, so we can speculate on that a lot. But In the case, I'll talk about collaboration in the case of Marshall, because not only are we working on Big Wrath together, but he's coloring at least the first issue of Retro. And initially I had a different colorist, and he failed to really color pages in a reasonable amount of time. I gave him all the time in the world, and essentially he hung himself. I still love his work and would love to work with him again, but I would have a project where it didn't have a schedule. um, anyway, regardless, um, Marshall jumped in and said, "Hey, I'd love to color it." So we're going with a much simpler sort of 80s comics approach. And he's colored a batch of pages. And, it's sort of like free floating at the moment because, I'm not finishing 8 pages right now. I'm just sort of jumping around. And he's got a life, he's got a day job, and he's also, got a lot going on right now. So I hope we connect, maybe connect in a month and really get back on schedule. But I'm more than thrilled to be working with Marshall on a couple of things. And actually, because I'll be doing a short story for 9-Volt Anthology, which is a triple A creators project, to which is within the Discord of his own. So we got 3 things going on in a way. And the thing that makes that easier and exciting is that I've known him online for years, and we've been podcasts when podcasts were more of a thing, and we've been on each other's YouTube channel, and we plenty, and we know a bit about where each of us comes from and what we like, and all those things that make collaborating easier going in. And I think we'll do some fantastic work together. But just overall, it's collaboration. Like there's hundreds of different scenarios, but it's like know what your job is. It's like I, more than likely, if you're collaborating, then you're doing part of a job. And so know your position, know what you're responsible for, worry about holding up your end. And, I've seen things fall apart because, people started saying, well, that's not my job. It's happened time and time again. It's like, yeah, it's not um, you could still do something if it's outside your job description. I don't know. It's like I've tried to be as on top of what is he, on past occasions. And, for all the work I've done for Marvel and DC, I've done just as much, if not more, with people, working on independent comics. And, I've added my 2 cents time and time again. I've taken on other job roles, even if I'm not credited on a book. I've given advice as to what may garner a bigger audience or what may get the word out better, yada yada yada. But first and foremost, if I'm hired, and more than likely I was hired strictly, but I've dabbled creators in regards to helping them make the story better and make the production of what they've done better, or sold them a, a better idea on how they get the word out, and and so forth. But I've always tried to do the best to my ability, inking their book and keeping them abreast of my pace and where I was at. If they know your job, and and know what to expect from you, then other things become easier as for putting a book together and getting that done, because there's so many little pieces to putting a comic together. But if it's moving forward and production is getting done on it, their job is easier. I know specifically, like working with pencilers, I've always wanted to give the penciler, like, be the best inker the penciler has ever had. And I always go up to talking with the penciler. I would be like, what do you like? What are you looking for? Or, what do you essentially need to job done to the highest level of what you like? Now, mind you, working with a penciler and then somebody else who's a publisher might be like, I've worked with pencilers and then had to sort of ditch all my efforts because the editor slash publisher wanted something else than what the penciler wanted. And that always hurt. But at the end of the day, he's the one paying me to fulfill book rather than the vision of the penciler. Okay, let's see. Frank says there's a few things going on Marsh's Discord. Doing a version of the old mini comics dump truck, copper top cavalry condensed comic swap, Peter Circular come up with part of the name. Oh, cool. Plus the 9-volt anthology. Yep. And just says, I did heed some of that advice, made it a decade in this. Yes. It's tough. It's tough balance sometimes to be part of a collaboration. Um, in the end, you're doing whatever service you're providing is to the betterment of the final product, and not individual egos or likes or whatever. Uh, so sometimes it's a fine line. Sometimes it's impossible to please anyone. I just say, okay, take a step back and say, yeah, if I just do what I like, what I prefer, at least the comical benefit in the end. But I mean, the benefit to collaboration is, it's you expand your audience, which is always a good thing. You know, those who work will discover your collaborators' work. Those that know your collaborators' work, cover your work, and so on. I mean, the same because can be said with working with a new publisher and other scenarios, but but the real benefit is I learn. I learn from working with new people. I learn from working in different styles. I learn from working with different publishers who use different methods to putting together their books, who maybe use different methods marketing their books. And, it's like I learn little bits from everyone because we're all different in our unique ways, and there's always something new to learn. That's for sureness. And one of the things I'm working with Tonic Mole is that I'm penciling and inking on somebody else's script. Had limited experience on, and while I was happy with my first chapter, I know the next chapter. Stylistically, I was all over the place, and I think I'm finding a happy medium because I'm really just like still learning a lot as a penciler, and I want more. I'm open to change within my work, but I want a more over consistency in style. So hopefully I can get there. We shall see. Over time, everything is possible. But yeah, I think definitely going to benefit from my collaboration on a bunch of different things with Marshall Lee and, as I mentioned before, the AAA community on Discord. Even though like in some ways, like other than following the theme, I'm writing, penciling, inking my own story. Um, if it's approved at the various stages, then pretty much I'm doing it on my own, kind of. And I don't, I have less free time than I thought I would in regards to visiting the community and such, to be really influenced by what they're doing. But I'm getting to know the other people there little by little, and I see the work, as people of different levels and different experiences, and it's all encouraging, definitely. And God knows I need encouraging, and more to keep on track than anything else. Um, like many other creators, I want to go off in different tangents. And I was Jeff show last. I said something like, you know, we creators, or I specifically, don't deserve to, really start other projects until I finish my what I'm already committed to, which is, I started retro like years ago, and yes, there were complications and bumps in the road and changes in lifestyle and all that, but um, my commitment to it has only grown. But just think, if it was as big, 10 years ago, and it has been going, it has been like, I did start it like, I think 2009. I sort of like finally said, I should really make this retro guy into a comic. Um, if my then was it as big as it is now, then I might have a handful of issues under my belt already. But not to dwell too much on the past and just deal with the present. I'm making a commitment to make sure this book gets inked. And then my commitment will shift and make sure other parts of the book are completed. And then get it printed and in people's hands. I said probably earlier in this series that I was hoping to do it and get it done this summer. Um, but I think I already have enough stress in my life. Just being committed, a regular schedule pushes this project forward. So that's where my head's at. And I think that's my best option right now. Just so you're not going to lose your home or lose internet or lose, the ability to have free time and work on your comic, and just make a commitment to getting work done on it weekly, if possible daily. That's where my headspace is at. For sure. So when I started tonight, I will say I was thinking of doing this for a half hour, and I've already been going an hour and a half, which is much longer. But hey, yeah, I did eat something before I started, and I'm already hungry again. It's funny. I don't think I ate enough today. That's for sure. Maybe I'll make some spaghetti. You could start your Italian jokes whenever you please. I gotta make some my spaghetti. I got some really good sauce. I got some grated cheese. Just break up some spaghetti, heat it up. It'll be just nice. Nice capper to today. Knowing I got some work done on retro. Now I connected with some friends online. And I want to thank my channel is slowly growing. I want to thank you, my new subscribers. If you're watching this and you hear this, it means the world to me. For those that shared out my channel, thank you very much. Um, you know, we'll get this channel in one day. Thank you for everybody who has liked my videos, and continue to work. Continue the good work. Continue liking the videos. Subscribe if you haven't. Become a Patreon. And I've been meaning to do a video for my Patreon, but I've actually had a problem of late getting access to my own account. But I'll figure it out. I've been there before. Patreon's not the easiest to jump on and add another measure or two of getting into my account. It's one of them. It's like getting a bank account. Pain in the ass. But what are you gonna do? Patreon good, so I'll put in the effort to get back into my account so I could put up some Patreon only videos. And yeah, just plugging away as daily as I can on my comic. Progress is happening. Moving forward, so I got a little more done today, a little bit by little bit. Hey, Captain Courage. Thank you. Good to see you here. Thanks for subscribing. and I will always stay courageous. Um, that's awesome. Well, I guess we'll end it on a great note, and I'll see you all again. I'm not sure if I'm doing morning or evenings, whatever works out best, but you can always watch it afterwards. And yeah, hope you are working on your comics and your art and doing well yourselves, and stay safe.